as you guys know, I'm pretty transparent when it comes to the show and in my book. If any of you guys have read my book and on my posts and my videos, I'm very transparent just because I like to inspire the change within people and show them that you can go through a lot of things in life and you can get over those things, and you don't have to feel those things every single day, all day. And it doesn't have to make you crazy. I hate that term. I hate that term. When, oh, she's crazy. All these women, they're crazy. Oh, he's crazy. Yeah. No one's crazy. They're just traumatized, traumatized and acting through their fear, really. And that's all it is. No one's really crazy. Yeah. They literally are acting through their programming. And usually it's from 0 to 7. And actually, now that I've done a little bit more research, Bruce Lipton, I was just reading one of his books, and he was talking about that actually goes back. Your personality develops in the womb. In the womb. Inside the womb. So it happens before you even get here. Yeah. And epigenetics, ancestral trauma. You come into this vessel, you come into this vessel, and you're already filled up with all types of trauma that you don't even consciously connect to.
It's important that you said that, because a lot of people be like, well, what do you mean? I don't have no trauma. Well, you had trauma before you were born. You had trauma before you arrived here. And we know now through scientific studies that you receive your programming code while you're actually in the womb in gestation for 9 months. And a lot of your personality is developed over that. So if you're inside of a womb of a woman that's in a toxic relationship, that's in an abusive relationship, that's under a lot of stress for other different reasons or purposes, a lot of that is a trauma now that's filling and programming your personality codes.
Yes. And reading about that, I mean, I kind of connected the reason why I've had such horrible abandonment issues my whole life. I kind of connected that when I did some regression work, which is trauma work. And I re-experienced my birth and realized what happened to me during the first moments of my life. But in studying this, now I realize, okay, this all makes sense because I was given up for adoption. And when I did other regression work, I actually went back into my mother's womb and I felt all of her emotions, this is what happens. So mothers out there, be careful, because your baby can feel everything that you feel, everything. Yeah. And what I felt when I went back into my mother's womb was horrible. I mean, she was stressed and depressed and didn't want me and disgusted. It was an awful feeling. So I felt that deeply in my body, but it actually healed something within me, because I realized I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Yeah. I have abandonment issues because of the things that I had to endure before I could consciously remember anything.
It developed into personality traits.
Yes.
And people say, well, how can that be? Well, you have to remember, every emotion that the mother goes through secretes a hormone in the body.
Exactly.
Those hormones are program codes. Yeah. And those program codes are washed over the baby and all throughout the gestation period. So the mother's situation, whatever the case may be, whatever she's going through, good or bad, is being turned into hormones that are secreted, which then hormones carry the programming.
Yes.
And that goes directly into the fetus.
Yeah, exactly. They cross the placenta. These stress hormones that our body releases cross the placenta. And now your baby is swimming around in all this stress and emotion.
Right.
Yes.
And to add a little more credence to it, when I was at MIT studying applied neuroscience, one of the classes that Dr. Tara Swart, the professor, was teaching us was talking about, if we're in a room and you're sitting within 15 feet of me or less, and you're stressed out, your cortisol levels are spiked. Now, the cortisol is actually, the hormone is actually coming out of your body and riding your electromagnetic field. And if your field interconnects with my electromagnetic field, the cortisol from your body, your hormones, come down in my field and come directly in through my body and affect my cortisol levels and spike my levels. So you being stressed can spike me and make me stressed out just by sitting in the same room.
Right. And you can feel that. Everybody can feel those things. You can viscerally feel that. If you're in a room and everybody's happy and jumping around, and all of a sudden a person comes in and they're down and depressed and walking around with their head down, you can feel that viscerally inside your body. And why? That makes all the sense in the world. All the sense. So these are things just to think about if you're pregnant. I'll probably write a book on it at some point, to be honest, because it is so important. The pregnancy stage. I mean, I am a living example of how much it can screw you up badly if you don't have a good pregnancy and if you don't get coddled and loved on those few moments when you are, give birth, and the baby's first moments in this life are so important.
So important.
Embrace. Yeah, I swear, when I did that regression work and I came through my mother's womb, I wanted to be held by the woman that carried me, the only person that I knew. Right? That's what I felt. I felt all these emotions and had all these thoughts. And I wanted to be held by the only person I knew, which was her. And looked at her. I wanted to look at her and I wanted her to embrace me. But instead, the nurses snatched me away.
Yeah. Which is so important. Like when my oldest daughter now, she's 31. She's having another baby. She had a baby, my grandson, Mav. And when she was pregnant, I told her, you need a birthing plan. And I said, the most important thing is that as soon as that baby comes out of the womb, the first thing they need to do is put the baby on your chest. That's the first place the baby goes. Now, in the birthing plan that I had her write up, I can't talk about it here because the YouTube will get us. But there's several things that they're not going to do to that baby. And I mean, definitely not going to do. And they didn't do it because she had that birthing plan written out. And the first thing that they did was put the baby on her chest. They didn't cut the cord right away, a lotus birth, no eye drops, no eye medicine. But she was able to get the baby right to her chest. That creates that instantaneous bond.
Yes, because you think about it, and this makes logical sense. Think about it. You're a tiny little baby. You incarnate in this strange world. You're having all of these emotions, these feelings, and you don't know what's going on. And the only person that you do know that you recognize, whether it be your mom, or you could recognize two people because you could have a father that's talking, because you, as a baby, you can hear that. So if you don't get the embrace and the skin to skin contact with the only people that you know, your first moments in this world, it's awful for the rest of your life. It programs you for the rest of your life.
So we start growing up. We've got this innate trauma already in us, this programming code of fear and negativity already in us. We've become addicted to the hormones that are secreted for trauma and stress. So we look for more trauma and stress so we can get that feeling, because we're codependent on the hormone that we get from, that's secreted from us when we get that problem.
People are literally addicted. They're addicted to fight or flight. And it's not consciously, you're not consciously addicted. You don't want the drama. But if you haven't healed the trauma, then you're going to get a lot of drama, because unconsciously you're searching out for ways to sabotage yourself to make sure that you can get those hits of cortisol, adrenaline, those things that are good when you can shift out of it, but are bad when they're secreting for extensive periods of time.
Exactly.